Well, we're here. Not in a pub today.
Not in a pub.
We're in...
Where are we?
Bradbury Hall Hotel, in my hometown.
How much do you get paid to say that?
Nothing. I don't get paid to say it.
Have you ever opened any part of this with a giant pair of scissors and a ribbon?
No, this is just my local hotel. It's where I grew up. And this bar I've spent many a night in, pissed.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Today we're talking to Alex Boardman. Now, you don't know Alex.
No. Alex, first time meeting Alex.
Alex is a comedian and Stockport legend?
No.
No.
Driving in my own house, I'm not a Stockport legend.
Okay. Alex is just a guy from Stockport.
I'm your friend, basically.
Yeah.
I think nobody else... You got a full booking this week when you came up to Manchester. You had a gap.
No one else turned up.
And you went, let's have Alex, he's a comedian.
Well,
and Will went, I don't know who he is.
Alex wrote on, was one of the head writers on my chat show that I had when I was 22, and we'll talk about that in a minute.
So you're the reason why it got cancelled?
It didn't get
cancelled. He's the reason I didn't get a new house.
Yeah.
He's the reason.
I said no to a second series.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Why?
Because I was like, I want to be an actor and I don't really want to be known for this.
22.
Yeah, I know. Right, no, but I really did, because back in those, I know. Back in those days, that kind of shit mattered, and it just so doesn't anymore. Like now, look at Corden. You don't see James Corden going, I won't do that because it's stopping me doing Hollywood movies.
Just say this, won't we? Brandy Walsh presents a chase, and then just walks straight into a role of Doctor Who.
Jason Manford. He hosts about 8 quiz shows, and then he does a Jimmy McGovern series.
You were on the back of the Royal Family.
Yeah.
Which I think was obviously one of the greatest greatest British comedies of all time.
Yeah.
And then you went from that to your own chat show.
Yeah.
And then you was like, well, the world's clearly my oyster.
Yeah. I don't need this chat show.
I don't need my own show.
Yeah, I know.
And it was. I really needed you to do that because I was.
You should have said.
I did say loads of times.
I think you did.
Dude, what are you turning this money down for? And also, I was writing it and doing the warm-ups. I was on double money.
He was killing it.
It was like...
You've destroyed his life.
I've killed his life, basically.
I was like, that's when I could start looking at houses in West London.
So here's a question.
Pick what you want, kids, for Christmas.
I can't remember. You never did. You did warm-up on... You wrote on my show with Robin Ince. You two are the head writers. And loads of
we were the only two. We were two.
You were the two head writers, and there were loads of other amazing writers. There was.
Oh, don't do this because
all the guys who went on to
success.
write Veep.
Yes.
And I mean,
Will Smith.
Will Smith, who not that one. Will Smith, the writer who went on to write Veep. What's he called?
He was the dude with curly hair.
Simon Blackwell.
Oh, Blackwell, yeah, but he was not really on. He was kind of half on that show.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have been head writer over him.
Anyway, basically, there are loads of guys who were junior to you and Robin who are all now miles more successful than both of you.
I don't know if I'm more successful than Robin. You got to be friends with Robin.
Oh no, Robin's really popular and successful. He just doesn't earn any money.
Oh, right. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, Robin just hangs around with Brian Cox and goes, oh, I wish someone had paid me to do this.
Well, for my level of ambition, I did very well.
Yeah.
So that's what you do, mainly writing?
I did. I was a stand-up then.
You didn't
I've always just done stand-up.
I was just trying to remember, you didn't do 2 pints warm-up, did you?
No.
Robin did.
What I did was Citizen Calm.
Right, so you never did warm-up for 2 pints, so you wouldn't know Alex, but that's where we know each other from, and he's MC'd at the Frog and Bucket for as long as Frog and Bucket's been on.
I just do comedy, and it's really easy.
Is it?
Yeah, because I love it, and also nobody really has any demands. If you turn up 5 minutes before you go on and do roughly your time, which is 20 minutes, that's enough.
What about bombing, though? Isn't it horrible when you bomb?
It doesn't happen that much, to be honest. It doesn't.
Really?
Everyone's got a story about it. He's like, I just nail it.
I've got loads of horror deaths.
Yeah.
But bombing, my worst ever death was in... Well, there's a worst ever death for each year, and you go, which country do you want to be in when you died the worst? Right. So in England, my worst death... Even that's hard, because there's one a year, a horror show, where sometimes the police are called to the venue, sometimes...
What, because you're so bad?
No, just because...
Arrest this man, he's not funny.
This is criminally unfunny.
You're never that different, right? You're never that different, but sometimes somebody will take something you've said in the audience...
Like what?
Badly.
What?
So, one time, a couple of years ago, we're at a comedy store in London. I go on, I do one joke that's about driving while drunk, and somebody goes, oh, that's not funny, and I was like, I can't remember what I said, something really innocuous like that. I'm only joking, I wasn't really that drunk, I'd had too much cocaine to be...
yeah.
And it just went off. Now that just feels really innocuous.
Why?
to me.
Why did he go off? What was his...
Because
You shouldn't be doing that.
It was a family, and the daughter, it turned out, had been in rehab. This was their family night out.
First night out after rehab for coke addiction.
Her first night out after
no.
rehab. The entire family, mum, dad, boyfriend are there, all leathered. The girl who's come out of rehab, it's the late show.
Not drinking.
Story. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning. She's not drinking. And then, so the woman, I mean, it's really, God, I wish I'd not started this one.
Right.
So the mum, it turned out, was undergoing some other treatment. So she took a wig off and threw it at me. Also, this was the same night the cast of one of the West End musicals was in. So they were sat in front of them. So they were stood up shouting with like a load of dancers. And it
Really campy.
Dance fighting. Dance fighting.
I was stood on stage.
Like in West Side Story.
Let's have it.
It was really, so a wig, I ducked the wig. And as I'm like this, going, I'm going, what's going on? I'm from Manchester. Like, you don't throw wigs. If he's kicking off, at least throw your glass. And then as I'm saying that, I didn't see from the side, the dad's coming up to punch me like that. So one of the staff grabs this dude, they wrestle, and then the lad comes up, for some reason, he's just off his head, but he was tiny. So he comes to get on stage. So I just literally gave him this. I thought I'd punched him when I watched it back, because I was like, I handled myself pretty well.
I love that you preface him by going, he was tiny.
The smallest shot. But he went flying over the front seats.
Oh, no.
Landed in the middle of the cast of the West End show.
Oh,
They were all
wow.
screaming.
Who Michael flattened him to death.
Yeah.
The river
Then
danced
the
his face
police
off.
come in. Oh, man. Yeah, so that, I mean,
Must
that's...
be a good
And that
night
was just
out
the
of
worst
comedy,
one
isn't it?
that year.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of millions of bad
No.
ones. There's hundreds.
Suddenly,
But everybody has
I'm
that.
not interested in doing stand-up, Ralph.
No, well, so you said, oh, it's that easy. Me and him have sort of both. We found this out about each other while we were doing this podcast, like a week ago. He's always toyed with the idea. Lulu, I think.
Lulu Poplar.
He's always toyed with the idea of stand-up, and it turned. And he didn't know this, but so have I. For about 10 years, I've been like, I just fancy giving it a go, and maybe if I write, I know if I've got like good material, like that's written down on the. But I think we're both, if we're really honest, we've both shit it a little bit over the years.
No, I think Will would be good.
Oh, cheers.
Do you know why?
What weird thing to say.
Honesty's the best policy, Alex. I believe.
I just think Will is more like a man of action who would just go and do it and it would be fine and would make stuff happen. And I think you'd be thinking about it too much.
I do think more than Will.
Yeah.
That is
I think you'd
definitely
just go
true.
on and be funny, and I think you'd be funny for a bit and then start, I don't know, wanking on about the environment or something.
I do that. that is a thing I do.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've had enough laughs. Let's talk about the environment for 10 minutes.
Listen, I know we're at a stand-up gig, but it's time to get serious.
I've not seen you for a decade, and I already know you're a vegan.
Only because you asked. You asked.
Because you went
Don't
to KFC
make it
and got a
out.
vegan
Don't
burger.
make out to people, to podcast listeners, the first thing I talk about is that.
No, you just came in with a massive KFC bag.
Well, what do you want from me? You went, what's that? And I went, it's a vegan chicken burger. And you went, how is it? That's on you. That is on you. He's a shit guest. That's not, I told you you'd like him. I don't like him, but you do.
Let's talk about how good I am some more.
I'm fucking furious about that.
Why haven't you done it? Why haven't you
Just
done
because,
it?
like Ralph
We
said,
both shit it, really. Let's be fair.
I've been writing notes down, bits and
Me
bobs,
too.
and things that make. I've not told him, he's not told me, but we've both been sort. And just for a while, I've always I like making people laugh, and I have a bit of fun, and my brain works in a weird way that random shit pops in, and I think, well, I think that's quite funny, and then I write.
But all comedians do that. That's a sign.
Yeah, and
It might be harder because you're famous.
that's the problem I've
Or
got.
it might be easier for a bit because you're famous.
But that's the problem I've got. Is
weird
other
one.
comedians will
Yeah.
go, you don't think you can just step straight in and go in at this level when you've not done your work. Do you know, like, you've got to do the graft and...
Ricky Gervais is a great example of that because he was, when we did your show, he was just becoming it.
Yeah.
He did his first tour, I think it was Animals or something.
Yeah.
And so it was all comedians and writers wrote on his show, and we were all a bit like,
I remember
well, he's doing that wrong. and he's
All
doing
the
this
comics
wrong.
were going,
Yeah,
he doesn't know
He's
anything.
not doing that
He's now the
right.
biggest stand-up in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's not even close to the best stand-up in the world.
No,
He's very-
biggest, I said.
He's not the biggest stand-up
His tours, last two tours sold out faster than any other tour in
Would
the
you
world.
call it a stand-up though? Doesn't he just
Chappelle's
sort of
bigger,
do
isn't he?
like a lecture?
Not
Isn't it more of like
not anymore, he's
a
not.
funny lecture he sort of does, isn't he? That sort of...
Yeah, I think that's what he calls it. But it's a stand-up tour.
He's very funny and very good, but he was famous going in, but he was really smart because he got good writers early doors, and then is he?
Do you know any?
Robin Ince.
Yeah, cool. I'll give him a call. You're off the fucking list straight away. You're on the way with him anyway.
If I'm back in one of these horses, I'm going to follow the funny.
What a dick! What a dick! I can't believe I got you on. I told you he was good, and now I feel terrible about it. What a shithouse. Tell everybody what you said to me just before we started rolling.
What did he say?
He said, what you been doing that last time?
Yeah, he said,
unbelievable. And that wasn't even for a joke.
No, I
you just mugged me off.
I'd never met Will, but he's like on telly all the time.
He goes to me, so what you been doing? He said, well, I know what Will's been doing, but you haven't really worked. What a dick.
You do Death in Paradise, that's fine. If my mum was here, she could...
This is fucking brilliant.
Unbelievable.
He can come in every pod. We're getting Alex in.
I told you you'd like him. I'm not sure I'm having him back. Unbelievable.
You're from...
from Oldham originally?
So am I.
You're from Bury, aren't you?
I was born in Oldham. So very, very originally I'm from Oldham.
Okay.
For a day I'm from Oldham.
Don't you be claiming that birthright?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, because everyone's going, ooh, I want to claim to be from Oldham. That's the place. Although, Bury. Or Bradbury. Let's talk our beers. Look at these new things before we go any further.
Yes.
Look at, can you see this? We have our new 2 pints with Will and Ralf glasses. Ralph, Will, and somewhat appropriately, Alex. Have you seen that?
I got Team
Somewhat
Will.
Appropriately, Alex is Team Will, which I think was pretty fucking clear from the start.
Yeah, he's backed me from the beginning.
What a dick.
Are we going to be able to sell these, you think?
I hope so.
We've got to be able to
Anybody
sell
wants
these.
Team Ralph or Team Will, 2 pints with Will and Ralf glass?
Yeah, get in touch. They're only £37.50. I think it's a bargain.
Here's a £37.50, mine a 35, so get mine.
It's a definite way to see which one of these like the best, isn't it?
Don't fuck off! That's a point.
Do you know what?
Let's see who sells more glasses,
kidding me,
Will or Ralph.
Do you know what? I was
that's
punched in
good.
the stomach by Ricky Hatton yesterday, and that didn't hurt as much as this does.
How do you know automatically he's going to win?
Oh, that's brilliant.
What?
He might not win.
No.
I don't think he will, but you do. You do.
Because I know you, and I know it like...
I know you, and you're not funny.
You go, right, 28th of February, that's when we decide. On the 27th of February, you'll look at the numbers and buy an extra couple of hundred so that you win.
That's true.
I know you very well.
Well, then I'll win. Defo.
Oh, man. Yeah, so you're from Oldham?
From Oldham, yeah.
Born and bred?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's just... I've lived in Stockport for 25 years.
Why? I mean, there's no reason why not. But
when I met my girlfriend, she had a house in Stockport, lived with her sister, and I just moved in almost straight away because it was
free.
Yeah, it was. Well, it wasn't actually. I ended up going straight from a life of being a student to like moving in with somebody.
So how long have you been with your missus now?
25 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
I'm with my missus for 22.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
How long have you been seeing someone at all? Longest?
The longest is now when it's like 4 years.
Yeah, so you're still...
And two, that's COVID, and I
You're
haven't
still
seen
in
her.
love, exactly. That's the difference. And she was in America, so you're 3,000 miles away.
You're still in love. I'm fond of her.
Well,
That's a joke, anyone listening. It's just a joke.
No,
Fucking
anybody-
hell. The
anybody-
Daily Express, by the way, is obsessed with every fucking thing I say on this podcast. And now they're going to go, I'm not in love, I'm fond of her. It was a joke, Daily Express.
What was that thing that happened in Stockport, with the anti-vaxxer thing? I didn't see anything about that.
So it was last week.
What was that?
Right, so basically...
Okay, wait. Before you carry on.
What?
Are you going to mention the fact that you obviously read it on your phone?
No.
Before you carry on.
You edit this, by the way, or not?
He's such a shit house.
Why? Because I don't fucking know it.
Last night, right? Alex has sent a few things that he could talk about. When a load of anti-vaxxers took over a vaccination centre in Stockport, and he goes, well, that sounds fucking boring. and I went, what is wrong with you? He's like, oh, whatever, carry on. And now he's like, so what's this fascinating thing I've read about?
It's fascinating.
What's this thing I've read about anti-vaxxers in Stockport?
I didn't know it
Shit house.
I sort of avoid anything to do with all that
With
shit.
news.
No, yeah, stuff that I just think, oh, gives a fuck. You know what I mean? People, you know, and I read that you mentioned it, and I thought, well, we'll talk about it because I don't know.
The only reason I wanted to mention it was because you've got a lot of viewers I just wanted to plug my podcast that hasn't got many viewers. So we can literally plug my podcast and move
let's move on, because he's not interested in that.
Because I thought we were going to talk about not being in love with our wives.
Oh,
I thought that's what it felt like. That's it.
that's
You both shut out of that one, because you both went, oh no.
I'm very in love with my wife.
I
I'm very
said,
happy.
well, I don't know. He said it's been 22 years, and I went, that's been a long time. So I said to you, it's been a long time, and you went, yeah, it has. I said to Will, it's been a long time, and Will went, yeah, it has.
Well,
There was definitely a vibe of that.
my wife will see this, so if this was just us, it's really hard, this, isn't it? Because you've got to tread carefully. So we're fine. Our relationship is absolutely
Well, the
fine.
fact you just said that before you said it's fine means you're fucked now, mate. That's
Yeah.
the
Well,
end of it.
basically,
No,
I think she's got the ability
We're
of
not
reading
editing
between the
around this
lines.
fella. You're in deep shit. You're in deep trouble.
Well, we usually do edit, but we're leaving that
Oh yeah,
in.
we'll leave that in.
Well, this, right, if you want to sum us up, this is where we're at as a couple after 25 years. So,
This is already.
my wife's a teacher, right? So, when your wife goes to work with a lot of other women, they have like ideas of stuff that one of them's done, and then they all have to do it. So, date night is a thing that we had to do. You're aware of what date night is?
I do
You've
with my
had to do
wife
it,
every
haven't
Saturday, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, we go out every Saturday for dinner.
You
Disappointment.
don't live with her?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point?
I know, but I think it's
I
important.
get that.
What's the point?
You see each other every day.
Emma came back and said, how would you feel about date night? And I, honestly, my first thing my brain thought was, I would go out with a couple of like other people, but I don't want you going out with other men. I didn't know it was us two.
You thought she was talking about
I thought she
an open relationship?
Kind of.
And please tell me you went, okay,
No,
I'm up for it, but here's the parameters. You can't do anything.
I can go out with other girls, but you can't go out with other men.
Right,
That's
right.
what I thought. And I was like, this. So I was absolutely taken, not for six, really.
Were you like,
Because
this is amazing?
Yeah. So anyway, I didn't fancy date night either because it just sounds rubbish and expensive, and let's go for a meal. Why, we've got food in the house. We live together.
You're such a romantic.
So, and also I work every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, right? So unless you're going to go out Tuesday, which I'd be up for because it's often half
Price, yeah.
So I compromised because she's got all my friends are doing it, and you can never do anything because you've always been a stand-up comedian and blah blah blah. So we basically have date night on a Saturday morning, which is often hungover, and we go for a fry-up. That's the date night.
So your date night is a date morning.
Our date night's a date morning where we go
Hungover.
for a fry-up, hungover,
And
in
don't speak to
Stockport.
each other and just
Well, it's
slather into your
brilliant. You
food.
get 2 papers. So or she can get like a magazine or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever you want. Feel free.
Yeah,
And
treat
then
yourself.
You sit there and read that whilst having a brew and just go, I feel a bit like night sweats.
And you really like snappy with each other as well
No,
because
it's
you're both
silent.
hungry.
Just read your comic, read your.
sounds
So
like
you don't even talk. So your
Not
date
much.
night
What are
is...
you going to say? Oh, what did you do last night? I was in the same house
with
where
we,
you
yeah,
were.
got pissed.
What do you mean? The same as it's been for the last 23 years.
I'll tell you why I do it, and this is the God's truth.
Where do you go before you?
No, I try. Like I said to my missus, because I'm away all this week, and she's with the kids and that. And we have a performing arts school that she runs, and she teaches Zumba and she teaches adult street dance. So she does other things as well. But I think when you're in the house and your routine, because I hate routine, so it's like your school runs and you cook tea and whatever else. Weekend, I sort of go Friday night. We used to do Friday film night, so we'd get the kids and sit, watch a film. And then Saturday, I'd say, right, that's mine and your night, and we go out for dinner. And we sort of do that.
Get a babysitter and
Well,
just leave the kids to run.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Put the film back on.
My
Yeah.
son's
Roll that around
17
twice.
now, my daughter's 13, so we can leave them for a couple of hours, all right? But, and I think it is good.
Did
it's
you used to get a
important.
babysitter? I assume.
Yeah, of course you used to get a babysitter.
I know, but like, was it someone you knew, or did you just get some?
Well, my philosophy is, if there's a girl that wears glasses, she's quite safe. So if the babysitter's got glasses, she's trustworthy.
That's the oldest trick in the book. That's the oldest.
Wait,
oh
what?
my God! Every single girl with glasses
It's safe.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's the opposite.
All
is it?
It's the opposite.
all the
Yeah,
crazy women are just buying glasses, going, "This will fool them."
I'm out with my wife in Latasca or something. We would
Zizi.
only ever get family members to babysit. Only ever. No, because
And you
you're
didn't?
talking about somebody's mum. That's who you get. You don't hire random 15-year-olds. Oh, look at her. She's got glasses on.
She's sensible.
That's what she wants you to think. She's having a... She's going through your booze. She's got... God knows what else she's doing.
No.
You must have done that when you were 15.
What?
You have a girlfriend and she goes, "Oh, I'm babysitting Saturday night. Do you want to come round?" And you're like, "Ah." Well, there's an age where you go, "Oh no, I don't really know anything about children." And then somebody tells you that's code.
I used to go with babysitting just because the kids had a Sega Mega Drive, and I just go, "Fuck off! I gotta go."
That sounds closer. The idea that at 15 anyone would have let me do that was just an insane mystery.
You must have been in the wrong family at 15.
17. I was that. 17. Oh, up until I
You
was.
were in children's ward.
Yeah, that didn't cut it in quite the same way. The girls weren't going, "Oh, I'm a big fan of children's ward. Come and talk to me." Didn't really work that way for me.
Have I ever told you my story about being in hospital when I was a kid?
No.
Just reminded me of the children. Do you know, because we're talking about this sort of, you know, when you're young and, you know, you're in that age of you're getting boners every 5 minutes. I was in hospital and I had to have an operation on my back. I had a big birthmark, like mole thing removed because it could have been cancerous when I got older. So now I've got this massive long scar across my back. So.
Oh, is that what that's from?
Yeah.
I thought that was from something like really kind of action and
that's
cool.
what you'll tell me.
Yeah.
Where you go? No, it's birthmark.
Yeah, it was a shit
I've told
birthmark,
many
yeah.
a story about
Vietnam.
saving people getting
I
slashed.
honestly thought, I was like, God, he must have been in like a big tear up when he was younger or something. Tell Alex about Auntie Anne and the pencil.
Oh, we've spoke about this.
No, we
though.
haven't. Tell Alex about Auntie Anne and
I
the
was
pencil.
obviously obsessed with my penis as a kid. I used to put
I used
to put a pencil in the end of my foreskin and then walk around with it and dangle it like that between my legs, right? And draw pubes and all that sort of stuff. And my aunt.
Stop! No, you don't just move on from that. Because the other one,
Did you all not do that? Was it just
The other
me?
one's a
No,
bit-
we all didn't do that.
Why?
Because we
funny, you
don't
can
wrap
hang it down.
pencils in our
Just
dicks
that.
and waggle
The
them
other thing's
about.
a bit weird, and you go, "No, it's a randy little kid." This next one, we're into Silence of the Lambs territory.
And it gets worse.
No.
So you've got
His auntie gets involved. Go on.
Well, my auntie Anne, she's not my real auntie, but you know when you got.
Makes
This
it
is
worse.
going to
You
take
know
a
when
real
you've got a
turn.
family friend and you have to call them auntie?
Yes, I had loads of them, yeah,
Auntie,
but-
well, it's Auntie Anne and Uncle Barney.
I bet you didn't do this with them.
No.
though.
And my Auntie Anne, she sat in, and I don't remember this, it was Auntie Anne that told me and told my mum, she said, "Do you remember that?" And we were talking about it. And I've gone through my knob with the pencil like that, and then I've pulled the pencil out, straddled my Auntie Anne and gone, "Have a sniff of me dick, Auntie Anne."
And put the pencil under her nose.
And Auntie Anne's gone, "Shirley!" to me mum. He's got his dick in my face. And I run off, obviously. And Mum said, and it was like, as a kid, I was obsessed with it. And I never had clothes on, walking around with my knob out all the time.
Isn't that horrific?
That's really bad. I didn't know where that was going to go.
I also
thought it was quite tame. What was going on in your
Did
mind
you
was probably
ever-
worse.
Since we've got these glasses, I want Will's. I want every glass that says Will to have a sniff of me dick, Auntie Anne, on the back.
HB on the side.
Yeah, and a little drawing of a pencil. This is
Right,
not
or draw
good
with
for
that
my
pencil.
reputation.
It isn't good, is it?
No, it's
Imagine
not.
Death in Paradise.
Just
if
what I
this
mean.
isn't
Did I ever try and
Did you
draw
ever
all
try?
right with the pencil in my knob? I'm not Christy fucking Brown. I was
that what you are?
That's
Trying to do
You'd be
pictures.
curious.
Imagine my dad walking in. "My son's a genius. He's doing this picture with his bell end."
God. Well, this is good for you because you're not having words written for you as actors.
Yeah.
So it's just you.
Yeah.
Nobody's censoring what you say.
No.
You can decide in an edit or not, whatever you put out.
Yeah.
Auntie Anne
also-
staying in.
Yeah, of course it's staying in.
And do you know what? And there's nothing wrong. The whole point is that I am very honest, and sometimes I'm too open, and sometimes after I go, maybe we should take that out in case. But it's
Sometimes
only
his missus says to him, "You said what? What are you doing?"
We don't even want to go down the brownie points route. Fucking hell. We went to Walton and went, "That got me good brownie points." He said, "Oh, is that what Michelle calls it?" We're talking about anal sex. And my wife went, "I am telling you, that has never happened."
She had to tweet at me going, "Just FYI, Mr. Little, there is no such thing as brownie points
Not in
in
my
the
house."
Mellor household." Also, loving the fact that we just said anal sex really loudly, and there's an old couple of civilians over there who've just joined us in the bar. Tell them the Auntie Anne story again.
But
Yeah, I do have to censor myself a little bit. It's in case you offend other people, because I'm sort of don't care. You know what I mean? I'm sort of happy with myself, and I think, well, you know what I mean? I don't mind making a bit of a tit myself. But I don't want to offend anybody else.
You could say you were on. I don't even know he does chat shows anymore. Graham Norton, right?
Yeah.
Most of this would be cut because
Right.
you couldn't say it. Because you have to get it past lawyers. And
they wouldn't have us on
You
anyway.
wouldn't put it on.
Yeah.
But you know, whatever.
I know what you mean.
Say you're on Ralph got his chat show back,
Yeah.
and I could actually finally move into regular.
No, because to be fair...
Should have just stayed being a lawyer. You'd have been fucking loaded by now.
Now that I'm a bit older, I could get some proper names to write on it anyway. So I'll just get Robin,
Anybody
Manford.
good at working for famous people.
Remember, I'm the funny one. I could write it for
That's true, that's true.
But
Well, surely you'd have the chat show.
what I thought was, because my wife's going to work after a couple of months of the pandemic, comedians did nothing. You did the odd Zoom gig. You could try and start.
So you had no income?
No, I didn't really have any
Fucking
income.
hell.
I made of my own money in that COVID year. I made less than $3,000 of my own money.
Really?
Luckily, I was eligible because I pay all my tax,
Go on, mate.
and so I got a grant. But it was still, I earned less than I earned in my very first year of stand-up.
Jesus.
So less than a trainee anybody would get, like a YTS wage almost.
That's
so I was
fucking
living
tough.
off my. But it wasn't even so much that you'd see loads of people. At the time I'm talking about, now you look back and go, oh, hang on, everybody in government was just pissed every day and didn't give a shit.
Laughing their cocks
Yeah.
off.
They were just
Like, what should we
laughing
tell them
at
they've got to do this week? Well, give me a drink. Let's
That'd be
fucking write some
hilarious.
shit.
They won't ever know.
Yeah.
But loads of people were doing things that were like worthwhile and helping everybody. And I was like, oh, I'm doing fuck all. When I can't do, nobody'd let me do anything either. When you're nearly 50 and they go, what have you done all your life? And you go, well, I worked at Sainsbury's until I was 21. When was that? Oh, that was like 30 years ago
Yeah.
almost. What have you been doing since then? Pretty much just getting pissed and like telling jokes.
Telling
and
jokes.
travelling about.
Yeah.
You know, you're an idiot. We don't want you.
Yeah.
You know? I often to volunteer drive pension. They wouldn't let me drive pensions.
Really?
To like
Why?
the
Why?
doctors. Because, well, also they had
didn't
1,000
trust
other
you.
applications. But when you put your CV on, what have you done? Oh, you know, just
Dicked around.
dicked about
Yeah.
it. You're just not trustworthy, are you?
Well, that's the fun. I was thinking, you know, if so the pandemic was like, okay, so right, what happens now? And what happens if we sort of get into not even like a crazy zombie apocalypse thing, but just like things start, you have to kind of look after yourself a bit. I can't change a fucking plug. I
Nope.
can't do a thing. I've got no skills, no transferable
I've got
skills.
no skills.
I can arse around on a stage or in front of a camera, and that is it. Nothing else.
Imagine in
You
an
got any
apocalypse,
skills? Yeah.
This talent now.
Fucked.
Sitting, hosting.
Useless.
Meanwhile, people are at the door trying to get into it, your brain. You're like,
Yeah,
oh, do you
yeah.
remember when I think
Hey, is that Auntie Anne at the window?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just.
Have you got any skills?
Well, do you know what? I hate...
Can you fix anything or build anything?
I'm useless with stuff, delicate stuff. I break things. So I'm basically... The kids call me Wreck-It Ralph because I just break shit. So what they do is, my wife, if we get something to build, my wife sits down with all the instructions because she loves it. So she'll go through it all, counting fucking screws and all that shit. And I just go, what do I hit with this hammer? And then she'll say, hit that, and I'll go, whack. Like, literally, put that there and I put it there. That's it. So I do the heavy lifting.
So your skills are basically fetching and carrying. Fetching, carrying and demolition.
Demolition.
Yeah.
That's what I do. That is what I did build a bar in my garden, like a wooden sort of...
I'd love to
bar.
see this bar.
No, but
have you got a picture?
When I say I built it, a lad I knew who's...
You paid him to build it.
I paid him and I lifted stuff for him.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
I went, right, and he said, no, you're going to help me because he wanted me to learn a skill and stuff.
And did you?
Well, I just did what he told me. Right, cut that line and went, well, there you go. That's it.
So what are you passing on to your kids that they'll be worse than you?
Well, yeah,
And
yeah.
same with me. My kids won't be able to do anything.
But my wife, Michelle, is an amazing cook, and she has the kids in the kitchen cooking a lot. So she's teaching them basic skills of
Right, that's
cooking.
one good thing.
So
That's
Michelle and the
great.
kids will be all right when, after civilizational collapse. When climate change collapses civilization in 8 years, Michelle and the kids are going to be fine.
Yeah.
You're fucked. Is that what we're saying?
Well, I'll be all right if I'm with Michelle and the kids. I'll feed them. I'll be all right.
That's true.
I'll be fine.
I won't be able to get to America. I'll be on
try
my
and
Jack
bring a bit of
Jones.
morale. That's what
Yeah,
I'll bring.
that's what you'll
And
do.
If anything needs,
The morale bringer.
If anything needs breaking up, I'll break it up.
So did you never have a job, Will? Did you
Oh, yeah,
go
I've had a-
straight to acting?
I was 12. My first acting job was 12, but I always, I always dreamt and believed I was going to do it. I was like, no, I'm going to make it. And it was like, you know, it was just the way I believed in myself. And people saw it as arrogance, but really it was just, I just thought, why not me? You know what I mean? I had this real belief, but I did get jobs. So when I left at school at 16, I'd done a couple. I did children's ward at 14 and I did Brookside at 17, I think it was. But before that, it was just bits and bobs, a bit of extra work, bit of this and that, and just building up. But it was never going to be sustainable unless I landed something that was going to be long term. So I left school, went and worked for my brother-in-law as a roofer, just labouring. Then just when a bit of work came up.
Can I ask, do you know how to do any roofing, or did you just go, cut that, hammer that, hit that?
I made the tea and carrying tiles up the fucking ladder.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you know what was funny once? We were on a roof and they all went for lunch. And we're going for lunch and I said, I'll be all right here. And because they wouldn't let me touch anything, when they went off for lunch, I put the nail belt on, got the tools, and went and stood on the roof and just pretended it, because all the schoolgirls were walking past, pretending I was doing the roofing. They came back and they were going, well, can I have my fucking tool belt back? And well, sorry. And I just wanted to look like I knew what I was doing.
I love the logic as well, because if there's one thing schoolgirls really get hot for, it's roofers.
I know.
Oi, he's got a hammer. Sign me up for babysitting.
But then what happened was, I'd saved up a bit. I did a bit of an acting job, and I saved up some money. I got myself a car. It was 600 quid. This Ford Fiesta, got it. And what I did then is my sister's partner had a business card, so you could go in and buy stuff at cost. You know, these sportswear and stuff like that. So you go in and get them at the trade cost. So I go in and spend 100 quid's worth, and then I'd put them in the boot of my car and drive around the pub selling sports gear out the back of my car.
See, that's all right. That's enterprising.
This place that you got at cost, though, it's...
I wasn't supposed to be in there. He just gave me his card, so I used it to get in.
Okay, I was going to say, were they back of a lorry?
No, it was just like if you were going to a wholesaler. So it was just that I had the card to get in. So I would buy, remember the Umbro jumpers and all that, the stitched ones and all that, and I'd get them at a third of the price, and then I'd go and sell them at a profit. And I'd sell them out the boot of the car. I never wanted sports gear on a Sunday and stuff like that, and to make a bit of money, just so I didn't have to get a job. Because the worst thing in my mind was, I can't go and do a 9 to 5. I just can't do it.
Well, I'm not sure that exists anymore, that not being able... When I was young, that same age, it was all about not working for as long as possible. You knew you'd have to work. Yeah. You knew it'd get you at some point, but you tried to avoid it. And I was lucky I went to university because it was free. And it was that was the main reason I went. Yeah. I didn't go with any dreams. I didn't want to be a lawyer. It was the best degree I could get on. And I was like, I'll just do that. Why wouldn't you pick the best one? I couldn't do medicine because... Do you know what I mean?
You tried that, didn't you? You did a bit of medicine.
No, because it's all eyes and horrible stuff.
I did do a couple of dissections before.
Yeah, no way.
Did you?
Yeah.
What did you dissect?
Could never do that.
It's human body.
Fuck off! Did you?
Yeah.
A real actual person?
Yeah, cadaver, yeah. We called her Patsy because she was wearing pink nail, fuchsia nail.
Oh,
Cadaver, she was that journalist that's just had to after Carol Cadaver.
Why? What is cadaver?
That's a Carol Cadwallader joke that's completely wasted on him. Completely wasted.
It is wasted.
You know that Guardian journalist that said, why am I even bothering?
You two, aren't you? The more this goes
That's why it works.
It's you're just normal, and you're now a bit of a intellectual. And
that's how it works.
How has he been described as normal now?
Because this is normal.
You went to fucking legal. You got a legal degree. Don't make it like I'm just fucking salt of the earth. Normal. You've got a bit of...
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying this is the pairing.
That's why.
And you've got your roles, haven't you? He's very normal, and you're
I'm Eddie Large, he said Little. Ralph Little.
There you go. We've even got our own neon sign now. That's how setting our roles around. You like the neon sign, don't you?
Whoever gets that at the end.
Good
we
point.
don't know. We're hoping to get another one made.
We'll get to it.
Whoever gets the most sales, that's the prize.
Yeah.
You get to keep
That'll be the ultimate Will versus Ralph,
That's got to go in my lodge. Lodge.
Shlodge.
The lodge where I do my pod in the back.
It could go in your bar where that was built for you.
The problem is, I went to my brother-in-law's bar and he's got quite a few quid. And he said, I've got a bar. Honestly, mine is literally some wood. You know what I mean? And I thought, and put a little light on it saying cocktails, looks great. I went to his bar. He's got full-on beer pumps, all marble tops. Fucking optics up. It's got a shutter. Fucking 100-inch TV outside it. And I went, when I get home, I'm setting fucking fire to my bar. You've absolutely killed it. Got names on all the beer mats.
Yeah, but
I had a question about this bar because Emma wanted one, and I said no.
your missus wanted a bar, and you said no.
Right, okay. She wanted a gin bar or something. She said, let's have a bar.
In the garden?
Let's have a bar in the garden.
I've not used mine once.
This is one of the lockdown. This is what I said. I said, one, I don't think you'll ever use it. And two, worse than that, if you do use it, people will want to come round.
Drink your food.
You don't want people round.
No.
Not for more than like an hour. You want to get rid of them. You don't want to provide them with a bar and free booze.
And a reason to stay.
You want to literally, I'd be just praying for rain.
And you can't sit there and drink on your own because that's fucking sad. You can't just sit in your own bar going...
Well, I know for a fact that he can't. One of the things I've never forgotten about Alex, right, even when I was 22 doing the chat show, right, and it was like, we were doing 2 pints and we were like, heavy drinking. Like, it was quite a party kind of lifestyle that we all had, right? And I was like, wave, 2 drinks. And even then I was like, fucking hell, I can't do what he does. He goes, you never forget, you went, it's great, innit, though, for doing this job. You finish working for a day, you go home, I've just got a little room round the corner in Shepherd's Bush. You go home, I get 8 cans of Stella, sit on my own, drink them. Best lifestyle I've ever had now, and that sounds like
cracking open a can, going, "Oh, I used to write for Lewis."
I remember at 22 thinking that sounds like the loneliest thing I've ever heard in my life, and he loved it.
Do you know what was he?
And he did 8 cans of stuff. He was like, "Yeah, just 2 4-packs," and then I was like, "That's awful, Alex."
Well, I reckon if you'd have been a generation before, that would have been, you'd have been able to do that in the afternoon.
Oh yeah. No.
We've got the worst. It's getting worse and worse for everyone. Life. Yeah. This is another theory I have. Because when you watch Mad Men and stuff, maybe not so good for women.
Yes,
but
yeah. Not great.
Now men and women are equal in the workplace. You look at that.
Finally.
Look at that workplace.
Now they get paid the same.
What you do? You go in. You just have a couple of fags. Somebody brings you cake. Then you get whiskey out, then you have a meeting, then you fanny about, then you go to an hotel, get shit-faced. Those days are gone.
Yeah, long gone.
That would have been great.
It would have been kind of fun. This is not bad, is it? Do you want another? You say that we missed area, but like back, we just got the tail end of it. And what you've been talking about, we used to, and we can't we've said this loads on the podcast, so it won't be new news, but since you mentioned it, when we first started our first series of 2 pints, maybe first 2 series, but the first series of 2 pints, we were rehearsing on Latimer Road, and there was a rehearsal room, and there was a pub across the road. And we'd come in, and in the morning, everyone would sit around, all the cast, and on Monday morning, we'd read the episode, and we'd go, right, okay, first scene is Janet and Louise, so Sheridan and Catherine, the girls, Sheridan, Catherine and Natalie would all sit there. And me and Will went, all right, when you need us, we'll be in a pub across the road. Once across the road, I just started drinking.
Mail was in there, wasn't
it? At like 9 a.m. And then and nobody said, guys, you probably shouldn't do that. They went, no problem. And then when it was our turn to do a scene, they'd come and get us. And the girls would go and get a glass of wine.
And it was largely pub-based.
Yeah, exactly.
So were you drinking real beer in the pub, or was it like...
Not on screen. We sometimes tried to persuade the prop department to
because they only had Calibre, and it give you the worst farts, and it was rots your guts. And we
was my
like,
excuse.
We used to be like this to the props guy. Sort
us out a Bex,
and every now and then he'd stick a real one in. But, we'd have a couple of beers before the show.
20 years ago, or however many years it was, 17 years ago, something like that, I could have just had a fag. I don't smoke. Yeah. But I could have done it if I wanted.
Yeah.
And you see that now on an old photograph, or like
it seems really weird. Don't you find when you see when you see someone spark up on the street, there's always now a little part of me that goes, whoa, you don't see that very often anymore. It's completely changed.
I think that's why the pub culture is literally dying on its arse, because the smoking ban was a start of that. Because the older generation who were smokers, they're not going to stop.
No.
And they love the social, love going to the pub, having a fag and having a beer. Take the smoking out of it. They're not going to fucking stand outside in the freezing cold at 70 years old. They don't go out. So the pub culture and them characters that used to be in the pubs are not there anymore.
Well, some of those characters were wankers. Let's not.
There were a
lot of wankers.
Yeah.
But they were good fun. Like I used to go to the pub and just see the wankers and the pissheads and playing cards and dom and just listen to the arguments and watch it kick off. It was good.
Jaden's 17, right?
Yeah.
How old's your youngest?
My eldest is 23. My youngest is 18.
So 17 and 18-year-olds in particular. I guess you're 23-year-old as well. I keep hearing. And I don't know if this is true, but I keep hearing that like that generation, it's a big generalisation because every individual is different, but that generation just has a completely different attitude really to to drinking and just
My
not.
son takes it or leave it. He's 17, so he's not supposed to be really drinking, but he's not one of them.
But I keep reading these things about going, that generation, Gen Zers, I think they're called. They're all like really like, oh, not really bothered about drinking or doing drugs or doing. I just rather just
my youngest is like that.
Really?
My youngest is very like.
How old's your youngest?
18. Very like socially aware, and he's been a vegetarian for like 6 years.
Right.
Never really drinks. He's just kind of totally. I mean, when we.
I bet you're like, whose is that?
Well, that's the thing. You know, when we used to watch, when you were saying that, you were calling her Patsy, that girl. Was that because of Absolutely Fabulous?
Yes, exactly, because she had
Absolutely
pink nail
Fabulous.
varnish.
Really funny because you've got two like pissed parents who are like, "Ugh," and a really straight daughter. And I can remember at the time being the daughter's age, but going, oh my God, she's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Why is she? Is it Nadia Swallow or
Julia Swallow?
And you're like, why is she like this? That's really funny.
Yeah, I was the same.
I didn't ever think of that because I'd be shit-faced all the time as a student.
Yeah.
And now you're like, oh my God, I'm now Eddie or Patsy.
And your kid is that.
Your kid's going fucking down to pissed again.
But for us, rebelling was. So what else is really funny is like, so Dad's drank. Ralph at 22 used to drink pints of bitter.
I did, yeah.
Before.
Yeah,
He'd like,
I did.
Like Alan Partridge.
Well, I don't like
directors, please.
Real ale. Campaign for real ale. No, I don't. I never liked. I still don't. Remember when we were out the other night and I couldn't get through 3 pints of lager because it's too fizzy. I don't like the fizzy, so I just had drank bitter.
It can gas you up
because it wasn't too fizzy. That's
but
why.
we drink lager because our dads drank bitter, mild, or whatever.
Right.
And now everybody's on
smooth
IPA, aren't they? Which is what
I can't get into that shit. There's some all in fancy ass beers.
We won't have it. We had to do.
Oh my God. It's like, am I supposed to like this, or is it just to look good?
Tasting. We had to do this tasting, and it was like, it was like a sponsored thing. And we're like, okay, we'll taste these different craft beers, and he was like, oh, I'm really looking forward to this, and he's like, he's gone, I fucking hate craft beers. Right? And every time I'm going, I mean. I didn't like them. Nobody likes them. Everyone pretends it. Nobody actually likes them.
Like to taste, aren't they?
To taste, right?
Oh, that's different.
Yeah, and then you go, no,
absolutely
exactly
not.
Right.
Absolutely
So we've got 5 of these little things to taste and drink, and I'm going, we're getting paid to taste these and find some way of constructive to say about them. And I'm like, I don't know if I'd order a pint of it, but it's quite chocolatey notes, and he's going. It's fucking disgusting. Who the fuck drinks this shit?
You were right. It's the same with food's exactly the same. That dude, seen that salt dude?
Oh, you seen his restaurant?
Mental.
People pay. How much it goes with fucking
That's
restaurant?
1,500 quid for a tomahawk steak.
I just think
and then he just does that, and we don't know where his arms
I just like to stand outside and call everyone a wanker who's been in there and spent £1,500 on a steak that probably costs 40 quid.
Well, you know what, as well.
What the fuck are you doing? I've got to say, just to have a picture in there. Behave yourself.
You did that voiceover for the Dubai programme. It's that kind of mentality about going, oh, look how much money I've got, I'll just throw it away on anything. And I don't blame Mr. whatever he's called, Mr. Saltman. I'm like, fair play to you. You coined that money, but everyone who's in there going, oh, brilliant. Let me take a video.
Look how big my bill is. Look how much this costs.
Do you know what? Have a normal steak and fucking give it to charity, for Christ's sake.
Don't tell me it tastes £1,000 better.
Definitely doesn't. I've got another theory that food, there's a cut, and it's the same with beer. Now, you've mentioned it, you've reminded me. Beer's San Miguel, that's good enough. That's pretty much, it don't get much better than that. A kebab, not a doner, a really nice kebab.
Yeah.
Chicken and lamb mixed shish.
Yeah, something like that. Pay $6.50, get quality. You're not going to get that same thing if you paid 40 quid for that in a restaurant. It's not better, it's probably worse.
And also...
Why bother?
And also, you go to these fucking... I went to a restaurant once and I think it had 9 courses or something. And they said, come down to this restaurant. So I said, right, we'll try it. Honest to God, one of the courses was just a fucking smear on the plate.
Yeah, a smear.
And I was like... What am I supposed to do with that? What the fuck is that? So it's probably cost me £5 quid.
Well, I ate at the Fat Duck once and loved it.
Well,
I don't get it.
Is
you know
it
what I
one
mean?
clue? I mean, so I've got a mate who lives in, where is it? Cartmel, right by Cartmel.
Yeah.
Right? So there's all the locals who've lived there for over many years, and then there's like, I think Coogan's got a house by Windermere and all these people.
Yeah.
So they've got this restaurant, it's not vegetarian, they grow their own veg on site, and it's 15-course taster menu.
Fucking hell.
And it's something like 150 quid.
Why are you so
So
offended?
we're tenner a course. One of the courses is soil. It's the soil that the cress is so much grown in.
This is what I'm saying! It's fucking stupid!
At what point does somebody not pull you to one side and go,
mate,
you paid tenner for
what
a
you're
plate
doing
of soil?
for a plate of soil? Yeah.
And do you know what? 9 times out of 10, you leave and you're still fucking hungry. Do you know, like, you go to these restaurants, it costs a fortune, you get a farting little scallop with a leaf on it, 30 quid.
Okay, I've never told anyone this, but it's very, very funny.
It's a soil base.
Let me strap myself in.
No, it's just we did go to. So Heston Blumenthal, when he first became famous, had this restaurant called the Fat Duck in Bray. He still has it, right? And it was like 2 Michelin stars, best restaurant in the world, and I was like, no, fuck it, I'll try it. Now, what have said to people, and I maintain this, is like, I've eaten meals that were nicer. I've eaten meals where I've gone, this is delicious, and I'll finish this plate. But as like an experience, it was really interesting. Snail porridge and shit, stuff that you're thinking, this is going to be disgusting, you go, I don't know why, but that actually works. Ham and egg flavoured ice cream, shit that you would never normally ever eat before or since, and you go, okay, as a one-off experience, it was fine. But we went for my birthday, and it was me and a couple of mates, including Pete, who's our producer, who you know, right? And we got in the car to go home, and we went, oh, must have spent a fortune, 15 courses or whatever. That was a real experience, wasn't it? Oh, yeah. Should we go to McDonald's? We went to McDonald's after the Fat Duck.
That's what I'm saying.
Because we were still hungry.
And how much was your bill? Do you remember how much your bill was?
Enough.
It'd been hundreds and hundreds of quid, wouldn't it?
Enough. As a one-off, it was an experience.
Do you remember when Heston tried to get snails into the roadside calves and chefs on motorway
he was
services?
on the back of this snail porridge.
The fuck is it?
Wait, do you mean Little Chef?
Pull off?
You don't mean Little Chef, do you?
Do you know the roadside calves and all that?
It might have been Little Chef.
No, because he did a Little Chef.
That was it.
With a Little Chef,
He pulls off the motorway and goes, I'm starving. I hope they got some fucking snails in there for me.
It was the Little Chef at Popham Services, right?
Brexit, there's no French drivers, so
That's true, yeah.
Them snails are all just, they're all
That
fucking
Little Chef at Popham Services.
Can they leg it?
No, they can't leg it. There you go. Oh, he's great, isn't he? He's great. Snails, leg it, Auntie Anne
He's
dick.
just making this up.
It's great. It was fucking delicious. It was just a normal, like steak and mashed potato. I was like, this is great. Went back again about 3 years later, went in and they went, yeah, we don't do any of that anymore. And I asked the guy, I was like, why don't you do the Heston Blumenthal menu anymore? He goes, no one wanted it. It was fucking shit. I was like, no, it wasn't shit. But all the truckers coming through just wanted a bacon sandwich.
Exactly. Basic.
Have you ever been to Nando's and then after Nando's gone, right, everybody, McDonald's after?
No, it's true.
Because it's good. It's good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I think when you're older, you've got to go.
That's controversially, I hate Nando's, but go on.
Good enough. That's good enough. That's just right.
Do you think that there's a lot of other things in life that are like that? Like,
everything.
For example,
like that.
well, similar vein, but different observation. Like, I think once you've got a certain amount of money, more money makes it doesn't help. It doesn't make any difference.
No, and I've never been.
Once you're comfortable and you can do so, like, and I'm talking about way more money than I've got or will ever have, or. Maybe not you, because you'll sell any old shit, but...
broke socks.
I fucking will. I won't go under. I'll be above that water.
But, like, you don't... Like, so when somebody's got, like, there gets to a point where people just want to show off in front of their peers.
That's like the Dubai thing we were talking about.
Exactly, right? So people go... Well, I've got a 5-bedroom house. You go, that must be lovely. How many kids have you got? 4. Okay, so you got a spare bedroom. Okay, no, you're in the... Okay, fine. Well, I've got a 7-bedroom house. Well, I've got a 10-bedroom house. How many of those rooms don't you use? 5 of them. Those extra rooms don't make you happy. They don't make anyone happy. And it's not about going, look, if you've got money, you can have what you want. But I just think that there's a graph of, like, happiness to spend. And you can spend more money and be comfortable, and, like, the graph's here at the top. And then once you start to spend more and more, it just drops back off again. No one's ever been happier shitting on a gold toilet than a normal toilet.
I don't know. You see,
you want to shit on a gold toilet?
No, this is the thing, right? I just realised halfway through when you were saying that, I was like, well, not for me. It's not. I totally agree with that for me, but somebody like Donald Trump he's not happy, I would imagine.
Well, that's my point.
He's never happy.
He's got a mirror. He can't be happy with what he's fucking seeing every morning.
He's full of cocaine. But his entire way of being is he has to get better and he has to do this. Alan Sugar has to be driven about in that car.
Yeah, but not to get too philosophical. we're talking about happiness. We're not talking about status.
But
we're
they're
not
not
talking.
happy anyway. They'll never be happy.
Well, yeah.
They're always chasing it.
But
It's every day.
that only agrees with what I'm saying. Like, they spend more and more money and don't get any happier.
No, that's for us. They'll never be happy anyway. But the only way they'll be nearly happy is like that. They're not suddenly going to go, do you know what? I'm going to grow a beard and live
We're going to have a
in
lie in
field.
today.
And I'll be
They're up
really
at 6
happy.
every day.
There's one thing. Have you ever done that thing? So if you have to get on the train to London or whatever, and you're like, economy's normal price is like
£7 million.
Yeah, and it's expensive. I think it's like
£94
for a return, right? But you go first class. I've never paid for he's never paid for a first class ticket. He hides in the toilet and hope they don't find him. That I know for a fact. We've talked about that on the podcast before.
I don't hope they don't find him.
Right.
And if they do, they'll go, oh, it's TV's Will Mellor. Well, he must be in first.
They wouldn't do that to me in the last 10 years, as you've been very clear.
No, but do you know what you've done now? Now you've got Economy Plus. So you sit in first class, but you don't get any of the free drinks. And it's a fucking bargain. It costs you 20 quid.
Yeah, because you're never going to spend 150 quid on the free drinks, are you?
No.
But anyway,
that's my point.
So,
It's
on the train, like the huge amount of extra money that you pay for first class, it's just not worth it.
It's stupid.
And there are very few things, I think, in life where that ridiculous extra spend is matched by what you get in return being that much better.
I totally
and one of the
agree.
very few last examples of that is air travel. The difference between these, and I've only been once because I've not paid for it, but I've been paid when we went to South Africa. They paid for us to fly on business, and you fly on business and you go, this is amazing. An 8-hour flight, you're like, I can lie down. You go, that is worth it. Tell him, you absolute shithouse.
They upgraded me to first on the way back.
And not me. I was fuming.
It was just by accident. I was just about to put pyjamas on. Like first class. I went, this plane must be new because this doesn't look like business class. I had my own fucking pod, bed, everything.
It also went really badly for me as well because we're walking around, it's like, oh, I can't wait. Oh, it's such a novelty to be flying business. I can't believe it. Can you? He's like, no, it's great.
Amazing.
And we walk on and they went, oh, Mr. Little, there's your seat. And I'm like, oh, business, love it. And they go, oh, sorry, Mr. Mellor, could you step this way? And I was like, you're getting bumped down. He went upstairs to first class.
Thoughts have been downgraded.
Do you remember that?
I said, I've got Ralph, I can't talk. I've just got to get my pyjamas on. And there's a film started on my fucking 42-inch screen.
Do you remember that was the time as well in that airport? He mugged me right off. Do you remember the woman? So Ricky Hatton yesterday was going, I've never said no to a photograph. And Will's like, no, me neither. And I was like, oh, no, me neither. And then I was like, well, there was this one time, which I didn't get to say, but I'll remind him of. In the airport, right, we were in the queue for the thing, and this woman goes, oh my God, Will Mellor. We're in masks, right? She goes, oh my God, Will Mellor. Can I have a photograph? And he's like, yeah, of course you can. I'm stood right next to him. He goes, yeah, of course you can, love. And I'm like, no problem. And she goes, oh, I love 2 pints. And I'm like,
no.
I'm going.
Ralph said, do you want me in it? She went, no, just him.
No, I didn't say, I didn't say,
Ralph was fucking fuming.
I didn't say, do you want me in it? Because I'm not stupid. You never say that. You never say
Both
that.
of us?
You
No,
never,
just
no,
Will.
no, that's not what happened. What happened was this. She goes, I love 2 pints. And I'm like, pulling my mask down going, I think she just thought I had COVID. Right?
She might have watched it for after you left.
So she goes, sure. And she goes like this. She goes, and she goes, and then she looks to me, and I'm like, she's clocked. And I go, like that to get in the photo, and she goes, can you take it? So I go, yeah, sure, and I take the picture. And then Will goes, do you want Ralph's as well? He was in 2 pints. She goes, and I said, yeah, and I took my mask down. She goes, which one were you in it? And I went,
the other one.
The one that looks, the only other guy in it. The one that looks like me, who was in it, right?
Stormed off.
No.
Fuck you.
No, at this point. I did it to make you laugh, right? I thought he'd laugh. She goes, oh, so, I mean, I guess, can I have yours then? And I went, you can get to fuck. And walked off. I'm expecting him to laugh. And he just walked up to me and went, that was a bit out of order.
No, but you did go back and have a picture with it because she went, no, I do want a picture with you. I think she just didn't clock it. She could have had early Alzheimer's. We don't know. But Ralph's gone dark. Fuck you.
No.
She went, oh, can I have you? Fuck you.
So to make him laugh, I went, you can get to fuck. And then I walked away and then came back again and took a photo. She was happy and he's gone to me about half an hour later. He's gone, mate, that was a bit harsh. Well, you just did it to make him laugh.
She must tell that story all the time.
Oh, yeah,
Do you know who's really nice?
No.
Will Mellor.
But the second half of that sentence, do you know who's really nice? Will Mellor. Do you know who's not? The other one. The other one.
Pauses deaf in paradise and goes,
he's horrible.
He's a wanker. Well, listen, we have, I'm afraid the time is running out. And we have to.
That's not a thing we do, by the way. I don't know what it did feel like a thing, didn't it?
That is a form of Tourette's that I have.
You should have a bell.
Yeah.
It's a cold
I've already got one.
I've got a pen. I have
A massive one.
I've got a pencil in it.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
We've spoke about that enough.
Oh.
But Alex, thanks for coming on, man.
Well, listen, let me give you my number, because if you need a writer for this tour,
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll punch some stuff up.
To be fair, we might, because we don't know what the
We
fuck
don't know what the fuck
gonna
we're
say.
going to do on this
We're
tour.
starting to get a bit worried.
Oh, I meant his stand-up
Oh,
tour.
so you-
You
oh,
was
no.
stand-up, Ralph.
Oh, no, right.
Alex,
Oh, yeah, well, I
I'll
could
be
do
in
that.
touch. I'll be in touch.
No, we've actually got some good writers for the Two Pints tour. So
It's me. We are a bit nervous. We've had a look at the theatre the other day, and there's a theatre. It's got 3 tiers, and I in my head we're playing to like a pub crowd.
Where are you doing in Manchester? Where
Albert Hall.
Oh, right, so that's a big tour then.
Yeah,
Yes.
1,000 seaters we're doing.
That's good.
Fucking frightening is what it is.
You need a writer. You
Mate,
will
we haven't
die.
prepared
Fucking
anything.
hell!
You will
Fuck
die.
you! We don't need you, Alex.
As long as no one's
You
throwing
can't
up.
do this shit in front of 1,000
That's
people.
all we're gonna do. That's what we've got planned.
People like what we do.
Just
That's-
Yeah, they like it sat in their own home and they're paid 10 quid a ticket, haven't they?
10 quid.
10
fucking
quid.
40. I don't know what it is. I'm joking.
10 quid, it's about 3 times that, I think.
Is it? It's not.
Yeah,
I think it's 25 quid. I think. I don't know. We don't make the prices.
You're fucking
you know
terrible.
what?
You're
I'm
terrible.
shitting myself
You know
now,
you're
Alex.
terrible for us.
Pro rata, my rate for that would be nothing. Literally, interval drinks it'd cost. And I got 2 other people. We can write it next week. It'll be
Right.
done.
Listen. You might have a phone call because we haven't got a fucking clue what we're doing. It's a bit
Like, we
frightening.
really don't.
It's a
Like,
bit
at this point,
frightening.
like, we're gonna have to think of something, obviously, because people are coming to see us.
Some bits.
But like,
Well, he's all right. He's funny.
at the moment, we're just gonna sit here and do this.
We've got to play a few games. Would you rather?
You're going to just interview members of the audience.
not interview people.
We
just
might
get them on
interview
stage
you.
and-
We might interview you every night.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be great.
what? Any other stories you've got that we don't know about?
No, that was it.
You'll be ducking wigs like that. Fucking hell.
Right, it's really poor because if I'm on after Ricky Hatton, who's done loads of stuff, and I've just come and talked about nothing.
Yeah.
This is the point of this podcast. It's about chatting shit and having a bit of fun, and we go up and down all over the place, and people like it.
And inequality of guests.
And it-
Yeah,
we
we
like
go
to, we like to,
really
give,
up
we
and
like to
down.
keep people guessing who's going to be on next. Someone you know or someone you don't.
You should have like a swingometer, good or shit guest, little feature.
Mate,
Have
you're
you
great.
heard of them? Have you not?
It's funny because anytime he's not heard of a guest, he's like, "What are we talking to them for?" And I'm like, "Just trust me, they're great." And he's like, "Fucking hell, I don't
you,
know." him."
Alex.
No,
Ve- Very much you. You were definitely in that bracket.
Before we go, just remind me again what that podcast is called.
Barely Legal Comedy Podcast. I've also got 2 books.
What's your books?
Plug 'em,
Well,
plug,
it's for
plug, plug.
kids. It's my kids' show books.
Oh, tell me, I want to know quickly before we wrap up the kids thing you're doing at Romney Forum.
Yes, so I started a new business because the Comedy Store in Manchester pre-lockdown set up a show for kids, tone of a pantomime, but pantomimes are like 30, 40 quid a ticket and a lot of people can't afford it. So they went, we need Marcus Rashford, the back of everything he's done, and they were going, we need to be involved a bit.
Right.
So let's do a show. We'll charge a £5 a ticket, which a lot of, I know not everybody can, but most people
Can afford that, yeah.
So we sold it out, 400 tickets. Then we added a second show, so we were selling 200-300. Then lockdown happened, and it's called Kids Comedy, and it's just 3 comedians, but it's kind of pantomime tone. Kids love it, and they can get on stage and tell a joke.
That's
and our
great.
first theatre show is Romney Forum.
Alex, thanks for coming on, my friend. You've
Thanks
been a
for having me.
genius, and yeah, thanks for coming on the Two Pints of Lager
Genius. Did you
podcast.
just call me
It's been
genius?
brilliant.
You fucking all someone's got to do is tell you you're funny, and you're all licking his butthole.
Eyeball over him like a fucking
You've got
cheap
your
suit.
tongue right up his fucking butthole.
You can come again, Alex.
Yeah, I bet
And
yeah.
we'll be talking because I think I should do
Will's
a
like,
stand-up
Alex,
talk.
I think you should.
Me and you.
I really
Will's like,
think
Alex,
you should.
I've got a pencil you can borrow. Do you want to? There's a trick that you want to
Actually,
try.
Yeah, I'm going to do
Well,
that.
this is
That's my own.
Auntie
Don't give up in me fucking encore. Thanks for coming on,
All
mate.
right.
Oh,
Thanks, mate.
Brilliant.
Thanks.
Cheers, man.
See ya.
Ta-da!
Boom.
Come on.
Come on, let's go.